Hey guys, I'm really excited about today's video. I'm getting ready to head to Oxford for a day of filming and a lot of walking and a lot of really cool things that I can't wait to show you that I've never seen before. So I'm really excited. So let's go ahead and head on to the train to Oxford. So the first thing I'm going to do is make me a little PB&J, which is a very American thing to do. But I found this fine cut Oxford marmalade. Apparently Oxford does its own sort of marmalade. So I'm going to go ahead and make a sandwich. There's Gigi in the background. We're going to go ahead and make a sandwich and I will give this a try and I will tell you what this is like at the end of the video. So obviously the big draw to Oxford is the university. Oxford University is very large and it scans across many colleges and there are various locations associated with the university. So here are just a couple of quick shots of some academic buildings and some of the high street, but this is the big draw. Okay, friends, get ready for some amazing literary connections. So we're going to start at the Eagle and Child Pub, which is famously where J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis met on Tuesdays to have a meeting of the minds because they were both lecturers or professors at Oxford. Currently, it is covered in all of this because it has been purchased by a U.S. company that says they are going to fully restore and protect it. But I wanted to show you some of the surrounding buildings since we couldn't actually see it, which broke my heart. But you can get a feel for the landscape with some of the surrounding ones. Next, I'm going to show you, this is J.R.R. Tolkien's house, and actually the house right next to it and this house, which is why you'll see me focus on both. He actually lived in both properties. Now, I was being very respectful because this is someone's home, and judging by these trees and bushes, they do not want it filmed, and they do not want a lot of attention here. But these were huge houses, so he was doing okay. Okay, this is J.R.R. Tolkien's grave, and I have to tell you, it was amazing being able to see this. There is so much love here. There were pieces and pages of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings kind of put in here, and I just felt like it was very appreciative of him and his work. So it was a very peaceful, beautiful grave, and it was amazing being able to pay my respects there. Now I'm going to fangirl out just a little bit because I am a C.S. Lewis fan in my heart and in my soul. So this is called The Kilns and this is his house. I tried to get a couple of shots. It wasn't super easy to do because of all the hedges and I didn't want to, step over where I shouldn't be. But this was his house and it was in such a nice, peaceful neighborhood. And in this beautiful, tiny little churchyard is C.S. Lewis's final resting place. And I have to tell you, this was quite an emotional experience for me. I just think so much of him and so much of his work and his writing style, and I just really love him a lot. And at the very foot of this tombstone, there was a tiny little rock, which I'll zoom in on here in a second, and it just said thank you. And I just felt that completely also expressed my heart in this moment. I get to go in this tiny church where C.S. Lewis is buried, and it is so beautiful inside. It's so small, but there is a stained glass window. It's not stained, I guess it's etched glass window in here. I think I read online somewhere that it was donated, but it has sort of animals and scenery from Narnia, and it is just so beautiful. It's obviously hard to really show because it is glass, but I did make sure to zoom in on Aslan in the top corner because it was just breathtaking. Seeing this in this moment after just visiting his grave was unbelievable. Finally, this door is what they call the Narnia door. It is just right in the center of town off a side street, but supposedly the story is that C.S. Lewis walked by this and this is what inspired the wardrobe that would open up into Narnia. So it has the satyrs on the side and what could be a lion and the lion's mane in the middle. It is really amazing and I highly suggest you find it if you're a Narnia fan. Alright, with all this walking, I am ready for lunch, so we are headed to the White Hart in Headington to have some steak and potato pie on mash with gravy and peas. This was gluten-free. This was delicious. Okay, so the next spot that we're going to is way outside of Oxford. This is a very rural lane. It's about a 2.5 to 3 mile walk outside of Oxford, so I'm doing it and hopefully it will be worth it when we get there, but this is incredibly rural, so I'm gonna just chill out and enjoy this scenic walk for a bit, so be right there. Okay, we are getting close. We are on a single lane road, as you can see, It is insanely rural here, so let me tell you a little bit about what I can actually feature in the video. Oh, my glasses are all kinds of crooked. Anyway, I've got my hair pulled back and everything because it is so hot. But this is called St. Margaret's Well, and supposedly this well has healing properties. And there's a whole story and history behind it. I totally recommend you Google it because it is super cool. I think it's Benzie Lane, St. Margaret of Anatoch on Benzie Lane, I think is what it's called. But the reason that I am coming here is because this well was once again brought to life, made famous when Lewis Carroll, actually called it a treacle well, which I think means healing well, in Alice in Wonderland. So we're in the Alice in Wonderland series. So that is why I want to go see it and I want to show it to you guys. So I'm going to go back quiet now because it is a church and it is hallowed ground and I want to be very respectful, but let's go check it out. Okay guys, so here is St. Margaret's Well. They placed a grate in front of it, so I couldn't get in there even if I wanted to. But yeah, it was kind of surreal, a little bit spooky, crazy, historical, and interesting. So it was pretty bizarre, to be honest, but it's a really interesting find. All right, my next location is called Martyrs Cross, and it is right in the center of town. But this is where, during the reign of Queen Mary I, when they were trying to restore Catholicism in England, 3 Protestant bishops were burned at the stake, burned to death in this very spot. And it is just right in the center of town. So not really off the beaten path, but easy to miss. Okay, this is a weird one. This is called the Heatington or the Headington Shark, and it is literally just on this roof. It was put here in 1986 as a piece of protest art to protest bombs and nuclear bombs and represent, like, what if this was just something crashing through your ceiling. It is kind of a really strange thing to see in the middle of town, but I'm really glad that they've kept it there. Hello everyone, so it is the next day and I'm still trekking and doing some more sites today, but this one was a bit far out of Oxford, quite a ways actually, so I had to take an Uber out. It'll take me about an hour to walk back in, but I wanted to share the story of Honora and visit her tomb. So Honora was what they call an anchoress from the mid-1200s, and an anchoress, as I understand it, was someone who kind of removed themselves from society. So she spent her life in this church, praying, seeking for guidance and wisdom, and many came to her before seeking her guidance and wisdom. So I thought I would spend a few minutes this morning paying my respects to her. So let's see Honora's final resting place. All right, guys, so here is the tomb right up against the far wall. I didn't want to get too close because I don't like trampling and stepping on graves, so I was trying to be very respectful, but there is Honora's tomb. So I did spend a few minutes of quiet solitude here, but yeah, it is just right there against the wall. So again, it's worth the trek, but it is pretty far outside of Oxford if you can make the journey. Here is the famous Duke's Library and Humphrey Library, and I think it's pronounced the Bodleian Library. This is where a lot of the Harry Potter films were seen, including the library, the infirmary, and I really wish I could show you some interior shots, but number 1, filming is allowed, and number 2, I did not get in. I tried to get tickets because I really wanted to see it, but they were sold out every day that I was here, so I did not get to see this. Here are a couple of shots from inside the gate as well. So again, these buildings were used for several filming scenes. Okay, Radiohead fans, let's do a little trek here. So this is called the Jericho Tavern, and this is, by the way, Radiohead started in Oxford, but this is a tiny little stage where they played. This was a gig they played when they were just getting started and getting big. So here is a mural. You can see them there as part of that mural. Would love to know who some of these other people are, so if you know, let me know in the comments down below. This next location is actually a house that the band rented, stayed in, and I'm trying to again be very cognizant of the fact that this is someone's property. But yep, right here is that property, and here is the O2 Academy, where the Creep music video was filmed on the stage inside the O2 Academy. Lots of bands play here. I wish I could have gone inside. Oh, I wish I could have gone inside, but they were closed. But still, it's pretty cool if you're a Radiohead fan to see some of these sites. So Brown's is actually a restaurant that was recommended to me by a new friend of mine, and it is really, really impressive. Asparagus for an appetizer. I had this beautiful fish for dinner, and then I had a crumble for dessert. It was a full 3-course. It is very expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit shocked when I got my bill, but it was delicious and wonderful. This was an amazing meal, and I loved it. This little gift shop is called Alice's Shop, and this is actually where the Alice from Alice in Wonderland, the real Alice, used to buy sweets, and it is actually featured in the story of Alice in Wonderland. So it is now a really cute gift shop with all things Alice. This is Punting. I've been before in another place. I did not go this time, but it is a definite do not miss. This is the Blackwell Bookshop, and when I tell you the Norrington Room, I am going to stop doing voice narration so you can hear my audible gasps when I walk into this room, but please make sure you stop by this bookstore. It is the place that literary dreams are made of. So just come with me as I do this and go through here the first time. Well, that is my tour around Oxford, so hopefully it has been well worthwhile and you have enjoyed coming on this journey with me. And as promised, I wanted to say that the Oxford marmalade is really good. I did put it on peanut butter, which I know, again, is such an American thing to do. But I have to say, the bitterness of the marmalade and that particular cut and the cut of the peel, it was really good with the sweetness of my peanut butter. I like my peanut butter pretty sweet, so it made a really good match. So that's it for me, guys. I hope everybody's doing great, and I will see everyone in my next video. Bye.